What's up, everyone? Welcome to Pat's Chat. I'm Doug Kide, joined as always by Michael Hurley. Michael, big win today for the Patriots. They won in joint practice.
That is big. You got a little pixelated there. So say it again. They won joint practice.
They won joint practice.
So they are among the very best teams in the NFC, I think, by way of the transitive property. So this is huge.
If they win their joint practices next week against the Vikings, too, oh boy, they're entering the season 3-0.
That's pretty sick.
That is
That's
pretty
no,
sick.
but yeah, that's what everyone said. They looked so. I guess one thing in 2025 we'll stop doing at some point is comparing everything to last year.
You have to. You just have to do it.
But not yet, because for the time being, it seems as though the competence and respectability factor is just so far and away better in the joint practice last year with Philadelphia and the joint practice this year with Washington are shining examples of how far they've come and how different they are.
I would also say, like, one of my big takeaways, obviously, we'll get to a lot of Drake Maye. We'll get to the offensive weapons. We'll get to everything. We'll get to the offensive line. By my count, the Patriots' offensive line today only allowed 2 sacks to the Commanders during 11-on-11 sessions, which obviously speaks well about the offensive line. But by that same transitive property that you were just talking about, I would actually argue one of my biggest takeaways is that it speaks very highly of the Patriots' defensive line as well, because the Patriots' pass rush is consistently beating the Patriots' offensive line during
Oh,
practices.
interesting.
So you see them do that day after day after day in practice, and then you see the offensive line go up against another team's pass rush and, like, maybe not shut them down, but perform much better. It gives you confidence and faith in this like their pass rush,
Mm.
that they're a step above where the Commanders are. I know it's only one day versus many others, but I came away being like, oh, maybe the Patriots defense will be really good this year, just based on how good they've been against the Patriots offensive line this year, and based on how little the Commanders defensive line was able to do today.
That's an interesting. It's not the transitive property. I don't know if that's the associative property, but
Hmm.
ooh, the Boston accent snuck in there. The property, but where you're comparing the Patriots defensive line doing very well against the Patriots offensive line, and that same Patriots offensive line mostly stifling the Washington defensive line. I would say one thing that stood out about the Commanders to me today was
Hmm.
it's kind of weird they signed Dietrich Wise. I've watched him play for quite some time, and I've never been like, there's a guy I would sign if he was available to start for me.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's pretty heavily involved. He played. He started probably like a year or two too many years for the Patriots. Maybe a year too many years.
Hmm.
Where by last season was like, all right, I think we've kind of bled the stone dry on
Yeah,
Dietrich Wise.
not a bad player, just not
No,
not a special player by any means.
no, but I mean, the Commanders, for some reason, really seemed like their goal this offseason was like, let's get way older.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
get
get.
so old this offseason.
You know how teams don't like players that are 30? That's a market of inefficiency. We're going to get all the players who are 30, except when it comes time to pay Terry McLaurin. Then we are going to
Then
cross
we're
our
gonna hold
arms.
his age against him. Yeah. That's
um,
it's
yeah,
a strong point to be making if you're Terry McLaurin's agent, to be like, you guys love old people. Like, Terry McLaurin is perfect for you.
I want
He's
to
a
see.
fellow old.
This is a Reddit post, so I don't know how accurate it is, but average age of every NFL roster, it's a sheet. You have
Hmm.
at the very bottom the Packers, 25.1 years old. Just above that, the Jets and the Eagles at 25.5. Then you have this big chunk in the middle where everyone's basically 25.6 to 26.8. And then all alone up top is 27.5, the Washington Commanders. So
Wow. So
they
they really are the oldest team in the NFL.
now that's on Reddit. Who's to say exactly? No, I'm following it up here from bookies.com, who would not lie about it. So they are far and away the oldest roster in the team. If you're wondering, the Patriots,
Yeah.
right in the middle, 15th, 25.93.
That sounds about right. I would have guessed that they're on the younger side, but I also would say that some of their recent drafts before this year, they were just like drafting old guys. So, like, Kyle Duggar in NFL years isn't that old, but he's like
Sure.
29 in
He's
actual age,
yeah, he's
you know?
actually 42. He's
Right.
he's retired. His back hurts.
But yeah, Laramie Tunsil 31, Debo Samuel 29, Michael Gallup 29, Dietrich Wise 31, Jacob Martin 29, Von Miller 36, Eddie Goldman 31, Jonathan Jones 31. They signed a bunch of old guys this year. They really did. And I don't know what that will mean for them. If they're like that, it is kind of confusing though to be like, we're going to sign a lot of older guys, which means we want to win now, but we're going to be unwilling to pay Terry McLaurin and get him to the point of requesting a trade because, like, if they trade Terry McLaurin, they're not going to win this year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I've said it before on this podcast. I said it on TV. Saw you on TV the other night, by the way. The Pats chat tentacles continue to grow. What percentage of the offense did we say Terry McLaurin is for that team?
Like 35%, something like that. Yeah.
So I think that should be something factored in today when it comes to the Patriots looking so good.
Fair.
Is the Commanders were without their offense. He had 1,100 yards, 1,100 receiving yards for a team that had 3,900 receiving yards. So pretty important part of their offense wasn't out there. So not to diminish what the Patriots did, but I do think that provides some context where it's not really the team that was in the NFC Championship game. But I just think ultimately that doesn't matter. What matters is you had a team go out there. And to me, Doug, I wasn't there. You were there. But I would say I followed all you fellas and ladies out there on the not that hot practice field today. And I would say what stood out the most, like everyone's doing, I'm kind of done with receiver debates. It's like, doesn't really excite me that much to talk about the six. We're going to do it. We have to. But I just want to let you, Will Campbell looked like an NFL player, according to a lot of reports.
Yeah. I think that's fair to say. He wasn't perfect. I think we had him 1-1-1 in one-on-one pass rushing drills. Either like a pressure, something like that during 11-on-11s. So like it's still not perfect, but he held up pretty well. And I was told this week he's riding the rookie roller coaster, which would you prefer your 4th overall pick to be perfect every practice? Sure, but at least he is still putting out film in practice that the Patriots view as being textbook at times. There's some bad reps mixed in, but like, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned I was on TV. It feels like Felger is being very, very hard on Will Campbell. And I think that other media members, other radio hosts, whatever around, have kind of followed along suit on that, which is fine. He's the 4th overall pick. There's a lot of expectations. There's high expectations, but like he is still a rookie. There's a month left before the season. I don't think he's going to go out there and not allow any sacks this season, but it's also like, he's better than the guys they had last year. And like one of Felger's big points, and not to like make this all about Felger, but he wants them to like have competition for Will Campbell.
Yeah.
But like the Patriots coaches watched Montre Jacobs and Vidarian Lowe and all of these guys last year, and now they're watching Will Campbell. And like, I don't think you really need to provide competition if you don't believe that the guys can compete against him. All that would do is just raise questions about, oh, do they believe in Will Campbell or not? And clearly they believe in the guy.
I would say I don't necessarily want competition, but I want other options that aren't Vidarian Lowe and Demontre Jacobs for the reasons we talked about last time, where it's like, what if he breaks a finger on the second drive of a game and needs to go?
Unfortunately, the ship is like kind of sailed on that.
But I look at like is Tyron Smith like? I don't know what the standard is. Is he like a Hall of Fame tackle?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
Right,
Tyron Smith. Yeah.
2 first team All Pros, 3 second team All Pros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 Pro Bowls, like whatever.
Right.
He didn't start getting those awards until his 3rd season. It's like even like as good of a tackle as you can be. Like he was 9th overall pick. I don't think Will Campbell is going to be a Hall of Fame tackle. That's a hot take. You can clip that one. But I think even some of the best. Now there are other examples like Tristan Wirfs when he stepped in with the Bucs was great right away.
Yeah.
So but it's different players, different years. I think we know that this draft wasn't one that was incredibly loaded where you could get a guy at 7, 8, 9, 10 that was going to be. And so I just think he is what you got. But I think the reports today seemed not perfect, but compared to what was it last Thursday or Wednesday when it was like his worst day? I think it was last Wednesday was his worst day of practice of the summer. And plus, what he said to you guys Friday night, I
Right.
think he has the right head on his shoulders
He
as a
does. Yeah.
rookie,
Yeah.
where it's like, he said the line was you're either winning or you're learning,
Right.
and I'm learning a lot. And I just
Yeah.
think like that, the mindset and the approach, you can tell A, the character and the player he is, but B, the coaching that he's getting is right. Like everything
Yeah.
is not perfect, but progressing, and I think that's a positive takeaway from today.
Yeah. And I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, at the time, was I thinking they should probably sign a left tackle? Yeah, but those guys that like Ronnie Stanley never made it to free agency, and then
Mhm.
like Dan Moore signing for $20 million a year.
That was
Jalen
nuts.
Moore, the guy that the Chiefs signed to be their left tackle, they signed him for $15 million, and now he's not even like starting. They've got Josh Simmons in there playing over him. So like that would be the argument. It's like, okay, yes, if the Patriots were being super uber safe, they would have signed Jalen Moore to be like, this guy can be our left tackle, and then we were going to draft a left tackle. But then like if you're just stuck with this guy who's not doing anything, then I don't know. Is that a smarter play to waste $15 million on a guy who's not going to start?
And
Probably not, right?
my follow up to you is Dan Moore a Hall of Fame tackle?
No.
He was someone that we talked about more than anyone could have imagined that we would ever
Yes.
talk about, Dan Moore. So yeah, the tackle market stunk. It is what it is. And
Yeah.
how's that rookie going? The seventh rounder they got, the one that played left
Marcus
tackle.
Bryant.
Yeah.
He's been decent. Like
Never heard about
obviously
him.
he's doing the right things. He's the guy that we've talked about before, where like for months and months and months we talked about like Armand Membu. Maybe he could switch from right tackle to left tackle. Marcus Bryant was the left tackle. Like he was the guy who was keeping Armand Membu away for one reason or another, away from left tackle. He had come in, transferred, was placed at left tackle. Some people weren't big fans of him who watched a lot of Missouri football last year, but he's really athletic. He's got good size. I think he's got even like pretty good length for the position. And today, when Morgan Moses was sitting out of full team drills, Marcus Bryant was sharing snaps with Demontre Jacobs, and everyone's assuming that Demontre Jacobs is going to be the swing tackle this year. But like Marcus Bryant was in there, he could wind up being like a prominent backup this year. And with Morgan Moses, who's missed a lot of the summer already, like you might need someone to step in there at right tackle. And I don't know. I mean, even Mike Vrabel had some positive things to say about Marcus Bryant today. And like, Mike Vrabel doesn't necessarily say negative things about players very often, but I don't know. I kind of took his comments as being a pretty big positive about Brian. He said he's gotten better, trying to compete at left and right tackle. When somebody goes down, they're not available. We just put the next guy in there, and then we evaluate him. And if he earns the opportunity to stay there, he stays there. And Marcus has done that. I think he's gotten better each and every day. Played the left, switched over and played in the right. Did a nice job the other day at the end of practice. So Mike Vrabel, high, it seems like, on Marcus Bryant right now.
Yeah, and that's just, I didn't even know he said that today, but there must have been like a wavelength that I picked up, and that's why we are the official Pats Chat podcast.
You mics are on the same wavelength.
Whenever there's a Pats Chat being chatted, we just get a little antenna.
That's
but
true.
yeah, 6'7", 320, the big fella, second biggest fella on the team. So
I can't find the arm length for him. I don't know.
oh,
I don't know if he didn't.
did he go to the
measure?
combine?
I don't know what's going on here. He wasn't a combine guy.
Oh.
And then on draftscout.com, they don't have his arm length. So maybe I'll try to while we pod, maybe I'll try to look at the beast.
All I care about is arm length. I'm on Reddit, which again, so I think this is a tweet from Mike Reese at the time.
Okay.
34 and 5/8 inches.
That's some pretty good length. That's like elite length, I would say.
Good arms, yeah. 83 and an eighth wingspan.
All right.
4 years at SMU, then 1 season at Missouri.
So wait, you said 83 and what?
83 and an eighth.
Will Campbell 77 and 3/8. So
smaller pin. What's Will
yes.
Campbell's arm length again? I already forget. 31 something?
No, it's not that small.
30?
It's 32 and 5/8.
So 2 inches shorter than old Marcus Bryant. Anyways, that probably concludes 7th round tackle talk. But I thought the Will Campbell thing. What was your number one takeaway outside of the Patriots winning today?
I think the number one takeaway was that the offensive line held up better than I expected them to, and that was without Morgan Moses. So you had Will Campbell at left tackle, Jared Wilson at left guard, Garrett Bradbury and Ben Brown sharing the center role. Michael Wenu at right guard, he's had a good camp. And then it was Demontre Jacobs and Marcus Bryant at right tackle. So as you mentioned with Terry McLaurin, he's not out there. For the Patriots, their starting right tackle is not out there. They're still looking pretty good. And on defense, yeah, Terry McLaurin's not out there. But you know who else isn't out there? Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis. So that's a little bit of a wash as well. And Alex Austin made a bunch of plays at the end of practice. Looked like a starting caliber player out there. Wasn't going up against necessarily like the greatest wide receivers of all time. Terry McLaurin, as we mentioned, was not out there. But you need that kind of performance from someone like Alex Austin when there are some questions about, are these guys going to be ready or not to start the season, which I think Christian Gonzalez will be. I think Carlton Davis will be as well. It's been kind of an odd camp. It seems like they're really easing some guys in, playing it really safe with some of these veteran players, Jelani Tavai, Carlton Davis, Morgan Moses, a lot of walkthroughs in practice this year as well. So it really seems like they're trying to keep the guys who are healthy, and the guys who might not be fully healthy, ease them in as much as possible because you trust those guys to be NFL players when they're on the field, and you just kind of hope for the best.
Marcellus Dial also exiting the depth chart with the
yes,
torn ACL.
Marcellus Dial with a torn ACL.
Was he looking? We've talked about him. Was he looking? We were talking about, I guess, the depth chart behind the two starters. He was probably behind Marcus Jones.
He was the backup slot behind Marcus Jones.
Okay.
And there's not really an obvious backup slot now at this point.
Could Austin play the slot?
What was that?
Could Alex Austin play the slot?
He was doing it a little bit the other day. I think that you're probably going to start to see a little bit more of him in the slot. Ultimately, also, like, if this is all assuming like that Marcus Jones would miss time, which I think he's missed time a few times throughout his career, missed a lot of one season.
He's a slight fellow.
He is. He's 5'8", 1 something. So like if he missed time, Alex Austin would be the top cornerback off the bench. And like if there's a really good slot receiver you're facing, let's use the Rams last year as an example. You can slide Christian Gonzalez into the slot. Did Gerard Mayo and DeMarcus Covington do that last year against Cooper Kupp? No. But like Christian Gonzalez can move into the slot. So
yeah,
like you can play matchups there. And DJ James is another guy who's had a really good camp. He's on the smaller side, so I think that he could potentially play in the slot. Like these guys don't have a lot of experience there, but you can figure it out.
So if you're facing, just example, I'm just pulling in my head, like Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, you would be able to focus all your attention on Demarcus Robinson still.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you could still keep your number one cornerback, one of the best in the NFL, a 95 ranking on Madden.
Second best in Madden. I did see, because you were talking and we talked about Dietrich Wise and we were talking about the slot corner. I was like, I know Jonathan Jones left, but where did he go? Washington. Was he out there today? Because he is 31 years old, soon to be 32.
Yeah, he was out there today.
Yeah, 32-year-old slot corner.
Yeah, he didn't make any plays out there, but talked to the media afterwards.
Nice guy.
I mean, it's funny. Like they could use a guy like Jonathan Jones in the secondary right now to be that like backup slot cornerback.
All right, second round pick, Kendrick Bourne, Jalen Polk for Terry McLaurin and Jonathan Jones.
There we go.
We did it. Just take all the receivers.
I think Jonathan Jones was possibly playing on the second team. That's when I most noticed him, but maybe he was also playing on the top team. It's tough. Like joint practices are difficult in general, but like
a lot of people
trying to pay attention to the other team that you have to kind of constantly be looking at a roster for. It's tough, but
the unofficial Commanders depth chart has him second string.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Lattimore and Sam Ristel.
Yeah.
On the outside, and Trey Amos in the slot.
Okay, that sounds right then. Because yeah, Sandstrill, Everett, Massachusetts guy. He was playing a lot, and he allowed a few catches to Demario Douglas. He also intercepted Drake Maye, which we should talk about.
Do you want to know something real quick? I grew up in Arlington, Arlington. I played Pop Warner, I think, just 1 year, and we played Everett. And it was like, you ever see like a World War II movie? Where just like people are going down, like medic, medic. It was the most lopsided athletic competition I've ever been a part of. That,
Wow.
I mean, Somerville also kicked their ass, like violently. Like it was embarrassing to exist. But Everett takes their football seriously, and Arlington at the time, maybe still not as much.
Any guys on that Everett team go on to play in the NFL or college or anything?
I was in 5th grade,
Yep.
so I didn't have like the roster. I'm sure you could do some subtraction on any of those guys,
Yeah.
but I was a left guard.
Ooh.
Was not my calling, but it was like, I think the limit was 80 pounds, and I was like 77.
Wow,
so I was
you
like,
were.
that's a chunk.
Yeah.
I was not good at it though. They wouldn't let us use our hands. We had to use our forearms to block. And do you know what that does?
That's tough.
That's a losing proposition.
Yeah, no, that's not great. Yeah.
That's it for story time. You were gonna move on to that. You were talking about corners.
Yeah, we were talking.
You were talking about.
No, I was talking about.
Everett.
Well, first of all, Lofa Tupu played for King Philip when I was at Sharon High School. He was also a very good football player. But that's what was on my mind.
Real quick, I went to a Super Bowl at Gillette because in college my friend had never been to Gillette, and we obviously couldn't afford Patriots tickets. So we went, and Dartmouth played against Everett, and Jordan Todman, who did make the NFL, played for Dartmouth and had about 7,000 yards that day, but Everett did win in overtime.
Classic Everett. All right, so Drake Maye's interception. He's thrown 3 now in training camp. 2 were in a scrimmage, and 1 was in a joint practice with the Commanders. On its surface, in a vacuum, I think that's kind of a negative. And I still think Drake Maye is going to be better this year, but I also do think that like the turnovers are a conversation. And when you get into when he's gone throughout all of training camp, perfect, no turnovers, then you go into a scrimmage, game feel, throws 2 picks, not ideal. One of them, Mike Vrabel, was like Alex Austin sitting there with his feet flat on the ground. You don't throw to cornerback when
he was staring at him.
Yeah,
I saw the video on the internet. It was telegraphed. It
wasn't it? Yeah,
telegraphed.
That was concerning. I think the fact that he threw 2 picks in that scrimmage. Once again,
the other one was a drop, right?
No, it was like it wasn't a great throw. It was tipped by Kobe Minor, the cornerback, and then caught by Robert Spillane. So not a great throw. And then the one to Alex Austin was pretty unforgivable, but it's fine. Like up to that point, 2 picks. Today's I'm going to excuse him for
unforgivable.
Well, I mean, to throw to a flat-footed cornerback,
unforgivable.
Yeah, forgivable. Okay.
Today's
I don't think it was that big of a deal because it was batted at the line by Bobby Wagner. And 90% of the time, maybe even more, that ball just like falls on the ground, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, falls behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a balance because even Drake Maye said himself, like Pepper should have had one early in camp and he dropped it. So it's like this is sports. The good luck.
Yeah. But it was tipped in the air by Bobby Wagner and then picked off by the aforementioned Mike Sanastrell. I don't know. I just can't get that fired up about it. Like he could have looked off Wagner a little bit better. Accuracy probably could have been a little bit better to throw it 1/4 of an inch the other way, and then Mario Douglas runs in for a touchdown. But like, I don't know. I just it's not as big of a deal to me as like the Alex Austin pick in the scrimmage. And still, we're 2 weeks in, more than 2 weeks in, and he's only thrown 3 interceptions. Would you like him to have thrown 0 interceptions? Sure. But I don't think the questions about his ball security have been answered at this point.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going off his press conferences and all of your and everyone else's reporting. He's not just making safe throws. Like he's slinging.
He's slinging at times.
He's trying to hit tight windows, trying to be aggressive, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I do think it's the Josh McDaniels offense, so there's a lot of safe throws being made.
Yeah.
A lot of safe plays, I think. And
I saw one today, Hunter Henry on the seam, where there was nobody covering him. So like that was not a dangerous throw.
No, it wasn't. It was a good play though. Play action, they freed him up.
But I guess like you don't want every throw to be dangerous. You want
Definitely not.
60 to 70% to be the safe throw, and then it's that other 30% that great quarterbacks are made.
I also think Drake Maye had a good day. He threw 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 touchdowns dropped. Trevion Henderson like threw a perfect pass to him over the shoulder, just dropped it. Matt Collins also dropped a pass in the end zone. But overall, Matt Collins had a really good day. He caught 2 touchdowns. You know who had a fantastic day? Who was like borderline player of the game?
I do know.
Today?
I do know because I follow you on X.
Backup quarterback Joshua Dobbs.
18 for 22.
Yes. Good Lord. I mean, I was even talking to some, I think I was talking to Megan Ottolini. I was like, I'm kind of workshopping a take where the last few days of camp, the divide between Drake Maye and Joshua Dobbs like isn't as far as it should be. And that's not an indictment on Maye. I think that's more a positive about how far Joshua Dobbs has come. But like in the scrimmage, Joshua Dobbs made better throws than Drake Maye did. And then today, Joshua Dobbs is out there slinging it. Drake Maye, obviously still the better quarterback, obviously the starter, has potential to be a very, very, very fantastic starter. But like Joshua Dobbs has been coming on the last few days.
You did BST on Monday, right? You didn't bring that one to the table. You didn't.
It wasn't formulated yet. That was before he went 18 of 22.
That would have dominated the coverage, Doug. Come on.
Felger would have been so happy.
But that is positive because we're going to have to see a lot of Joshua Dobbs Friday night. So it might as well be decent.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think I've been the most positive human being on Joshua Dobbs since he signed him. I think he's more of a 2/3 quarterback than he is a solid 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, today the guy looked like a 1/2.
Yeah,
he was out there slinging it. Good practice by Joshua Dobbs. Another guy who had a great.
I know this
one. It's not a great practice.
He wasn't effed around.
Afton Chisholm had a good practice. He had 5 catches on 5 targets. He was not effing around. He was effing up the Commanders. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. I hope he doesn't make the team just so that this ends. No offense to him as a human being. It's just I can't. I started it, so it's my fault.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. He might make the team. It is funny. Like you said, you didn't want to talk about the wide receivers.
No, I didn't say that. I said it's like
you said you hated them, right?
I dislike them all as human beings and individuals. No, I just like you kind of have. Diggs is going to make the team.
Yes.
Right. Booty's going to make the team. They've made that clear. Douglas is going to make the team.
Yes.
Douglas is the only one that would count as a surprise cut because it would be surprising if he didn't make the team, but he's going to make the team.
Yes.
Kyle Williams is going to make the team.
Yes.
So you've got your 4 there.
And Matt Collins is going to make the team.
And Matt Collins is going to make the team. And so you have your guys. Like that's your room. And then it's just, is it going to be Bourne? Is it going to be Baker? Is Polk going to find his way in?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, Like,
I mean, that's kind of how I feel right now because like none of these guys are emerging. And like every time there's a sign that one of them is going to emerge, the next practice they catch like 2 of 5 targets.
Yeah. And I mean, Baker seems to be doing the best of the bunch. Bourne's obviously hurt, but I do think Bourne's NFL resume, and we talked about this, I think last time we talked, it was like, well, this guy does have whatever it is, 4,000 yards in the NFL, and these other guys don't. But if they were to cut him, it wouldn't be like, that changes the trajectory of the season. It would be like, well, the other guys are going to have to step up. And that's sort of the basis of the entire NFL to me. So I reached a point today where I was kind of like, all right, you know what? They're going to make a choice. We'll see how it plays out. But it's not as interesting as it was maybe 2 weeks ago when I think Booty solidify himself in that sort of starters group.
When Drake Maye throws the ball to Kayshon Boutte in close coverage, a contested catch, I have like full trust that Boutte's gonna come down with the ball, which is, I guess, kind of wild to say about Kayshon Boutte at this point, especially if you were thinking back to like 2 years ago when the guy had 2 catches all season. But like when Maye threw that ball to him with Marshawn Lattimore tight end coverage, I was like, Kayshon Boutte's gonna catch that ball, and he did, and he caught it for a touchdown. And does that mean he's gonna be a 1,000-yard receiver? No, but like it means a lot when your quarterback throws you the ball to trust that he's going to come down with it. And like, I don't know. So with those guys for the 6th, if none of them emerge, I also don't hate the idea of them just being like, we're carrying 5. We're not going to keep any of these guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure someone would pick up Bourne if he's healthy.
Right.
I'm fairly confident, unless someone loved Polk or Baker last year at the draft and still want him and believe it. Like maybe those guys, because of their youth, get claimed.
Yeah.
But it's like both, probably not.
Right. I think like Polk would get claimed or they could trade him. Baker, I'm not as sure about. And it's funny because like Baker was trending upwards yesterday
Mm-hmm.
because he had a decent practice. Then like he's running kind of with the ones, but then today he caught a touchdown, but then threw the ball 50 feet in the air
Can't do that.
and then immediately like put his hand in his hand or his head in his hands while guys were celebrating around him because I'm sure he was like, why the hell did I just do that?
Yeah.
But then he also had a pass broken up and like he runs hot and cold. Jalen Polk has done very little outside of one-on-ones. So now it's like yesterday Javon Baker was trending up. Now Efton Chisholm's trending up. If you have to keep a sixth, and this continues on for the rest of the summer, who for you does the tie go to?
If Bourne's healthy, Bourne, just because of what I said. Like I
Right.
know that he can run a route. I know he can get open in
Yeah.
the NFL, and I know he can catch the ball. I think he's probably better than his numbers have shown the past 2 years, but you are what you are. The injuries,
Yeah.
the age. I don't think he is. I don't even know where to like. If he could catch 45 balls for 700 yards or six,
Right.
700 yards, like that's a huge, that would be huge considering they have Diggs and they have Hollins and they have Doug. Like if he could do, he probably can't because of the depth chart, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's capable of that performance.
Right.
I think he's the most capable of that group, but where I lose sort of exuberance for it is it's kind of like, all right. I mean, but it's also, I don't want to say who cares, but it's also like, I don't hate them going with a younger option
Yeah, there's an element
who's
there of
earning
like,
it.
should we stash someone else? Like
Because
either
I'm looking
Polk
at
or
like,
Baker.
because I was thinking about the claiming thing, and like Baker, his last year at UCF averaged 22 yards a catch.
Yeah.
Like it was, someone might just be like, oh, terrible situation last year,
Right.
and they cut him. We'll take him.
Yeah.
And Polk, I don't know, 1,159 yards is the number. Was he the 3 receiver or the 2
He's like
receiver?
the 2/3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's production there that they're only a year removed from. So maybe both would get claimed, and then you're kind of out of luck. So maybe you do have to protect one of those guys more, and like you're not like Kendrick Bourne's not going to be a practice squad player. So
No.
I guess that's the decision you have to make.
Chisholm's probably going to the practice squad, but like who knows? Like, someone could claim him, but I don't know if there's a lot of teams out there that like want to claim the 5'10" undersized slot receiver. You know?
I know one team that usually does, and they're called the Patriots. So
Right.
they
Yeah.
already got him.
And like Bill Belichick isn't somewhere else. Josh McDaniels isn't someone else.
Does he have any college eligibility left? Could he go back to UNC?
UNC, Eastern Washington.
No, where Bill could
Oh,
Could
Bill.
Brill
Yes,
bring him
good
down
call.
there?
Yes. Oh yeah, he'd be the number one down there at UNC.
Yeah.
So yeah, good, like a pretty good day overall though by the wide receivers. Demario Douglas was out there making plays. Mac Hollins had his best practice of training camp. Kayshon Boutte pulled in the contested catch. That was a positive. Efton Chisholm's out there making plays. Javon Baker caught a touchdown, even though he threw the ball in the air. Jalen Polk really didn't do anything though. Stephon Diggs wasn't out there for the first half of practice, then just like showed up for 7-on-7s. That was a little weird.
Am I the only one that threw out the diarrhea possibility? Because hear me out, okay? This is maybe, I won't get too personal, okay?
Yeah.
I'll just say I saw a video on social media. It might have been from Savage Sports sharing someone else's video of Stephon Diggs leaving Five Guys yesterday
Oh.
in a big crowd. No one said anything. He just kind of made his way out. I'll just say, Doug, I went to Five Guys once in my life. It was in 2011, 14 years ago, 2011, and I never went back. Do your own math. Never went back. I'm just saying there's a chance Stephon Diggs was dealing with something internal today and not muscular and not soft tissue and not whatever. Just throwing it out. I don't know why no one else put that together. This is why I'm me, and that's how I really carved out my niche in this world.
I think that's fair. I don't know what happened. I'm not gonna speculate about that, but I mean, shit happens, you know. But I'm not even saying that as a joke. Like I have literally no idea why Stephon Diggs wasn't out there. So
do you want to do one quick story time again?
Sure.
So in high school, Wednesdays we got out of school at like 1:30, I think, and football practice was still at 3:15, whenever. but Sum 41 was doing an in-store appearance in Harvard Square, and I really wanted to go. So I hopped on the bus after school, went to Harvard Square, got in line at Newbury Comics, like in the garage there.
Yeah.
Met Sum 41. They might have signed like a T-shirt, and I was like, cool. Got back on the bus, got back to school, ran in the locker room, got dressed. I was late for practice. They were like doing drills, and I ran up to my coach. I was like, oh, sorry, coach, I had diarrhea. Because it's like, you can use that once, because like, what could the coach possibly say? He said, I don't give a damn, get in line. And then like, we were off. And so like, you just, to the youth out there listening, it's kind of a get out of jail free card.
Really is.
Because like, what, it's not like, oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I couldn't be here. I had to be there.
You're lucky he didn't give you a fat lip. He could have said, that makes no difference.
Okay.
You're off the practice field.
Sum 41 used to rule.
I think I'm out of Sum 41 song references.
You're in too deep when it comes to making references.
You're in too deep than to skip practice. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, so that's what happened with Diggs. Unequivocally had gastrointestinal issues, reported first by the Pats Chat podcast.
Not reported by the Pats Chat podcast, reported by Michael Hurley.
Doug Kyde of the Boston Herald reports. Well, I'm just saying that not to be an anti-Five Guys podcast, because I can't actually speak to it, but it's got to be pretty greasy,
It is, yeah. You got a lot of fries in there too.
That's what they do, right? They look, because it's like $23 for a cheeseburger. So
they load up the bag with a bunch of fries. Yeah,
smart.
It really is. I didn't watch a ton of the defense, but Christian Barmore like ripped up one-on-ones. Milton Williams had some great one-on-one reps. I think the defense is coming along pretty strong. Robert Spillane's looking good out there. Once the cornerbacks come back, obviously that's a strength. I still don't really know what happens at safety. Craig Woodson's emerging. Keon White, Harold Landry, all these guys are having pretty strong camps. Keelan Chasen's been sitting out of the last few practices with an injury, but he was having a real strong camp before too. So overall, this defense is coming along together well.
Good to know. Were they doing sort of like different fields? Is that why?
Yeah, and since there's so much going on, we have to do like our training camp observations, and Andrew and I combined on them today, where I watched the offense, he watched the defense. And anytime that there was like a lull, I would watch the defense. But otherwise, like at the end of practice, they all came together, and that's when Alex Austin had some really good reps out there at cornerback. I could check my other notes about the defense, but yeah, they're doing two different fields. It's a lot to watch at once.
It's hard, and there was a ton of people there.
There was a ton of people there. Lots of media members too. It was packed. It was full.
I wanted to say this. I told you, I think, but I don't think it was on the podcast when we were talking about maybe it was on the podcast. I don't know. The like what to look for Friday night at that scrimmage. I was telling you like atmosphere, like, and it seems as though it's building. Like it feels like Patriots fans aren't embarrassed to exist anymore, and they're happy to come out. They're happy and excited to see it, and I don't think that means everyone's like Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
But I think there's I'm feeling a lot of optimism from the fan base. You're seeing it in the crowd today. Even like the past couple of years, the training camp crowds in general have been tough. Like almost like they shouldn't be open. Yeah. It's almost, there were days in the past few years where it's like, they shouldn't open these anymore, because it's almost like you can't take pictures because it looks bad,
There was traffic for me heading to the stadium. I was getting there early, and there's a lot of Patriots fans. I saw a ton of people walking up towards Gillette Stadium from the parking lot. One thing I will say as well, though, like all strong points about the Patriots, I saw a lot more Commanders shirts and jerseys than I would have expected to. I think
that's interesting.
The arrow is pointing up on the Commanders as well. And there was a couple of kids in the like VIP section next to us in the media tent, all of whom were wearing Patriots gear, but they were like losing their minds over seeing Jaden Daniels. So he's on the trajectory of a superstar as well.
I'm thinking a fan, people, the schedule comes out and everyone makes what road trip would you do?
Right.
Is there a section of fans that is like, well, I've always wanted to go to Boston.
Yeah.
I love my Commandies. I could go. This practice is free, so that's
Yeah.
one day. Maybe they could get preseason tickets at a
Yeah.
cheap price,
Yeah.
and you get to sort of like a midsummer, late summer trip to Boston out of it. I could guess. It's not a long trip, obviously.
No.
Um,
8-hour drive.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You would just never instinctively think, "Oh, I'm going to travel to see a practice." But if you piece it together and you got a couple football tent poles of your trip, I could see that working out. Tomorrow you could ride Codzilla or go look at some art.
You know what you can't do? Go to a Red Sox game. I was trying to go to the Red Sox
Pricey.
either tonight or last night. Good
Pony up.
Lord.
Yeah.
First of all, the games are straight up sold out. Like
Yeah.
literally sold out. Like literally cannot buy a ticket off of the secondary market. And the secondary market is jacked up. So
Yeah.
I do think a lot of people are like, there's a lot of tourists probably who are coming, but also the Red
For
Sox are just
sure.
hot right now.
Yeah, I saw it was the highest paid attendance since 2019
Yeah.
the other night, Monday night. And I went, my friends from California were in town with their kids, and Sunday was Run the Bases post game.
Mm.
So we did that. We were up, I'll just tell you how much I paid. It was straight from the Red Sox. Luckily, they do that kid club thing, right? So my
Right.
kids got free tickets. So I only had to buy one. If it was three, I would never. But we were up on the roof, like next
Is
to
that
the
the
foul pole.
Aura
No.
section? Oh, okay.
Aura is like right behind. It's the old 406 Club,
Mm.
whatever. This is all the way. Like we were at the foul pole in left field. We were at like the top of the foul pole over the monster, and the tickets were $120 a piece. So that was, and it was
high.
And it was unbearable. It was so hot, and it was only like 80, but there was no breeze, so you're just baking.
Yeah.
And they have like the concession strike was not taking place, but there were empty concession stands not open. Like to get your kid water would take 20 to 25 minutes. It was, I would say, not a professional environment. So fix that.
Well, I'd like to take Olivia to a Red Sox game this year. I don't know if it's going to happen. I thought it was going to happen this week. This seemed like the perfect week, but
Royals, you're like Royals.
I know.
And
Royals.
then I think the Marlins are coming in. You think, oh, easy ticket next weekend, but probably not.
Maybe I'll buy it now. Well, I'm going to be in Minnesota next week for joint practices. But yeah, maybe by the weekend. But Patriots preseason game. I don't know if
Saturday at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. I don't think
Amazing.
When was last time? Have the Patriots literally ever had an afternoon preseason game?
I've covered the Patriots closely with a little gap last year since, call it like 2010. And I don't think they've ever played before 7 p.m. Maybe a 6 p.m. on like a Sunday.
Right.
But probably not. Like I saw that on the schedule and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
1 p.m. And you know what is funny? I have watched at least one or two Vikings preseason games on like a Sunday or Saturday at 1 o'clock because it's just on NFL Network. Yeah. And you're like, I don't know, I guess I'll watch this. So they do it out there. Thank God. Yeah. Bless them. I have one more.
Speaking of NFL Network.
Okay, yeah. Well, I have another Patriots thing. Do you want to save that? I have one final Patriots thing to throw at you. It seems as though Mr. Ramondre Stevenson did another fumble on Friday night.
On the scrimmage, yeah.
And since then, I've certainly heard a lot of people talking about how Travion Henderson has looked. Do you think that a door opened for him and he is blasting through it? Because it sounds like he's had a good week.
He's had a good camp. He did have 2 drops today. So that halts things a little bit. But like, I think there is a door open there. And Vrabel doesn't have any specific ties to Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson lost weight this offseason. He said it was his goal to get faster, have more explosive plays. It certainly could work out for him, but I don't love that for Ramondre Stevenson. Like,
right, I like him kind of running people over
and running through people. And I know that's not like necessarily his game, but if you want to be fast and explosive, you can't be more fast and more explosive than Travion Henderson.
Right. And how much faster can you get?
That's the thing, is that like he ran like a 4.58 or something like that at the combine. I don't like losing 10 pounds isn't going to make him a 4.4 guy. It might make him like a 4.55 guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like speed is more than just mass. It is physiological.
Right.
It's, I don't want to say natural, but you can't, I don't know. Can you get faster? by losing 10 pounds.
I'm sure you can get a little bit faster, but it's like you're not going to become a 4.3 Travion Henderson guy. It's
Yeah.
just not going to happen.
I think it works the other way. Like, if you turn into Eddie Lacy, you're going to run slower. Like,
Sure.
but I don't know how much you can really get faster when like you're 21, 22 entering the league, sort of like you can get a little faster than that, I guess, but he's sort of
Yeah.
past that. I don't know. But either way, Travion Henderson seems to, from an outside perspective, have taken advantage of a little bit more opportunity this week. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if like midway through the season, Henderson's kind of become the guy. What do you think about Mike Vrabel winding up on the bottom of a pile
You
after
know,
after a little scrap?
he loves that. Like, let's
Yeah.
be real. There was not an ounce of him that was like, "What the hell? Oh, I'm bleeding at practice in front of my team. Oh, oh." It was hell yeah. I love this.
He's
So
gonna be 50 next week. At what point does he stop throwing on the pads and getting into scraps and stuff?
I'm
Like,
guessing he's going to have like a catastrophic like shoulder industry injury and have to like wear a sling, and that's probably going to have to like send him to the embarrassment zone where he just
yeah, it
realizes
does
he
feel
can't
like
do
there
it
has to
anymore.
be some
You know what
sort
it
of
would be?
yeah.
Having had to ride one of these in my life, like the knee scooter. If he has the knee scooter around, he's done doing. So, like if like an Achilles tear or something like that is a
And we're not
potential.
wishing any of this on Mike Vrabel. I hope that
Obviously
he's able to
not.
do this for the next 20
No,
years.
I hope he stops doing stuff physically because
Mhm.
like that's 50 isn't old, but around NFL. Doug? Have you ever been around NFL players?
Yes.
They are big, strong people.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is that like he was on Bustin' with the Boys. I was listening to it, and they were asking about like when Will Campbell put him on his butt in the pre-draft workout.
Hmm.
And like for me, I'm like, if you're Vrabel, aren't you like assuming you're gonna wind up on your ass?
I would hope so.
Like he's 49.
Well, I guess that's the test. Like if he wasn't put on his ass, he'd be like, I can't draft this kid.
I mean, yeah. But like I think it says a lot about like where Vrabel is physically that he could even like that he goes into that situation being like, I'm not going to be put on my ass.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I
gonna
mean, he's a
beat this
football
guy.
player. He's a
He
football player. He's a badass. He's Midwestern. He's got
It's true.
a lot of tobacco in his mouth a lot of the time. So like, what do you expect? Like, yeah, he's a guy. He's a dude.
Yeah.
You were gonna bring up ESPN, NFL Network, I believe. Red
Yeah.
Zone.
And maybe something else Patriots specifically related will come to mind. I think that today was a really fun practice. We'll see the preseason game. We'll do another pod after that. But I don't know. I don't watch there's no point in talking too much about it, but like, isn't there something about this ESPN NFL network deal that like
Sucks.
just doesn't feel great?
Yeah, and it's just
Like, how did we get to this point? So now what? The
well,
NFL owns 10% of ESPN or something?
yeah. And I don't know where you stand on like journalism, so to speak, but there's like the NFL network has obviously had reporting in the sense that like Rappaport and other people are going to report on transactions and stuff like that, but there's
Right.
no investigative journalism obviously into the league. Anyone that's called like a Jim Trotter obviously is suing
Right.
them for that, or maybe he settled, I don't remember, but
Yeah.
like the element of sort of a separation of media and league, complete not blurring but being blasted away and merging,
Yeah.
is, I don't know, it's in a way a sign of the times, but it's also kind of like the lack of scrutiny and accountability is only going to grow when you now are partnered with the number one media power in sports. I don't like
Yeah.
Roger
It's
Goodell,
tough.
so I'm a little
I
biased.
also like, yeah. So now, like for Rappaport and Pelissero, like I guess this doesn't ultimately matter, but like, are they now ESPN employees? Like, what happens with all those guys? There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of
Well, that
jobs.
that has personally pissed me off quite a bit. The fact that the NFL Network cleaned house, and
That
it's like
too.
they laid off so many people, and it's just like, what did you think this was? This is the NFL Network. It's not
Right. You're
a
trying to get ratings.
right. Well, like you, and even you can get ratings to
Yeah.
like that to sustain to have a reason to have the thing, but
Yeah.
like it's not a profit maker. It
Right.
is a league network. It's on in every building in
Yeah.
the league. It's on in every locker room, every weight room, every like it's just sort of it became what they wanted it to be when they made it in whatever
Right.
2008, and then they just dismantled it. And it's like you have the money,
Yeah.
you have it's just bizarre. Even like
Well, that's what I'm afraid of with this is that it's like ultimately probably going to lead to more layoffs, right?
I would think because there's too many people and
And it's
just
just
not.
like, what are
And
we
I think
doing
back
here?
to um like the Good Morning Football like was a nice
Right.
show to have on in the morning,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, they're in New York, they're doing this morning show,
Yeah.
and then one day they're just like, they moved us to LA
Right.
to do a 7 a.m. morning show. So like there's so much of it that was just dumb and bad for fans, I think.
Yeah.
But
Oh, we're gonna make them wake up at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning for a 4 a.m. show. It's like, come, what are we doing here?
yeah, it was truly mind-boggling. But
Yeah.
um did you see Robert Kraft spoke with Judy Batista and he talked about it? He said, I think we've hooked up with the best partners we have. Basically, they want to, he's talked about this. We need to get to more homes, reach more fans, because God forbid the NFL doesn't grow. Like, absolute nightmare if they don't grow. But his last quote, I just want to get to this one because this was a humdinger. Um, we're hooking up with the strongest sports amalgamation of sports product. We're giving them what I believe is the best content, and they're giving us the greatest operational company to grow our audience globally. So if you're a football fan and you don't like NFL Network kind of going by the wayside here, just know that the NFL has hooked up with the strongest sports amalgamation of sports product, and they're giving the NFL a great operational company to grow their audience globally. So shut your little mouth, you stupid little fan. This is a great sports amalgamation of sports product, okay?
Yeah, I don't love it. It stinks a little bit, but it won't ultimately affect my life too much, but it doesn't
Well,
feel great.
I will say this, having, mostly been working on Sundays, I was never a huge red zone guy, but in recent years with my game coverage dipping
Yeah,
and the Patriots also sucking, I have become a red zone guy, and it is a great product. Like
it is.
I don't know that anything should be done to that. And
Yeah,
if
I don't.
anything is done
Yes,
to that, that's when they're going to run into some riots because
it's true.
there are certain things in this and for years, like as a viewer, what's the right word, consumer,
Yeah,
great, perfect product. As someone who's worked in the industry, I'm like, why would they do this with no commercials? Like that is the
right.
dumbest business I've ever heard in my life. So they started working the commercials in last year ever so slightly, and there was riots about that. But if they mess with that in any way, people will freak out. So
Yeah,
that
it's
is a
yeah,
warning to the NFL not to screw that up.
and to ESPN. Um, Tom Brady statue being unveiled on
Mm.
Friday. Any thoughts?
Have I said this I've said it on Twitter. I've said it on different areas. Have I said it on this podcast what I think the statue should be?
Yes,
1 foot at Patriot Place, 1 foot in a parking lot
yes.
across Route 1, and then I don't know, I'm not good at math numbers, a
120. Yeah.
2,500 foot bronze statue standing
Well, it'd have
over
to be
Route 1.
1,200 feet. They gotta do the 12 thing.
Sure. And
Yeah.
I would, to me, it would probably be him, when he'd drop back and then he would get to like, his last step and he would just kind of statue it.
Yeah.
That should be the pose. Not a fist pump, not a touchdown, just like him like that, because he's like looking over his
Yeah.
town. I think they should have changed the town of Foxborough to Bradyville. I think it should be Tom Brady Stadium, and I think he should be a part owner of the Patriots. So they're going to bring him back and do the little statue. Cute. Like then he's going to leave and never come back. Like awesome. Very
Yeah,
nice.
it is kind of funny that this is the only time that they could get him. The only other option would have been like December. They play Monday night against the Giants, and like I can understand, and I don't even know he might have a prior commitment that day, but like I can also understand being like, let's do it in August when the weather is not going to be
Yeah.
like 5 degrees outside.
And it's an attraction for a preseason game, which can
Right.
be, an added bonus. So, yeah, I mean, I mean, no football player deserves a statue more than Tom Brady. Like that's all good. 12 feet just seems insignificant to me.
Mm.
Like that's a
I
small statue.
I do. I don't know what the statue's going to look like. I think the smart move is to do it like you're saying, like generic getting ready to throw pose. Cause like if it's one of him like celebrating or being like, whoa, that's how the statue face gets messed up. Yeah,
What was the
exactly.
soccer? Was it Messi or Ronaldo? The
No, it
Ronaldo
was
statue.
Ronaldo. Yeah.
That was a bad one. The Dwayne
Yeah.
Wade one is a real
Yeah.
issue. Like Statues are tough, and the
You just
smaller
got
it
to
is,
go as standard, like stoic face as
and
possible.
for that matter, he should have a helmet and a face mask.
Yes.
A lot harder to mess the face up when it's shrouded.
Yep. I agree.
But yeah, I mean,
agree.
I assume it'll be good. It'll be good for content if it's bad, but
Yeah.
that's beyond our control.
Can I love talking about driving.
Yeah.
This is completely random, but it happened the other day. I think that if you can't turn left into the left lane, like if you're turning left onto a multi-lane highway, street, whatever, if you have to turn left into the right lane, you should just have your license revoked. Like if you can't turn left into the left lane, take your license away. You can't do it. You're a bad driver.
I don't know what
horrendous.
you're saying.
Get out of here.
So
you know how
it's a road with 2 lanes on each side.
No, it's like multi-lane. So it has like, let's say 4 lanes, the road.
Okay.
If you're
Route
turning
1,
left onto a road with 4 lanes, you have to turn into the left lane. You can't turn into the right lane, you know?
Yeah. That's the rule.
If you're such a bad driver that you need that wiggle room of turning left onto the right lane, I'm immediately revoking your license. Get out of here with that nonsense.
That's a moving violation.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're turning left, I'm assuming that you have the capability of turning into the left lane.
I will say if I'm taking a right and there's multiple lanes and there's someone in not the first lane that I don't trust, I don't get in that right lane. Like if I think someone's going to come over and nail me, I'll wait a little extra.
Oh yeah. You gotta gauge it. Yeah.
It's not like I'm a good driver. I don't know if that person's a good driver, but going in the left, I mean, like, yeah, you got to be in that left lane and then you can move over eventually. So yeah, that's a moving violation.
This is also, I know people in Massachusetts might have a problem with this one. You got to use your turn signals. You simply have to. I know people don't like doing it. I know they're lazy and they don't want to do it. I have to trust that you're doing what you think you're doing, what you're saying you're doing.
I think turn signals are like a bonus for me, for other people. Like whatever. I don't need them.
You need them.
No, I don't need them. I can read. I'm like read body language. I can read car language. I know when they're coming. I know when they're going. I don't need it. If you do it, great. Thanks. But
no, you got to.
No, it's fine. I say get rid of them altogether. It's a waste of energy.
No, I need to know what you're doing out there.
We're killing batteries.
I need to gauge what you're doing. All right, you've got a tweet you want to show me.
So I saw a tweet, Doug. You haven't seen it. I hope you haven't seen it. It came up on my For You page. I want you to bring it up and I want you to read it aloud for everyone listening. Everyone watching is going to see it, but I want you to read it aloud when you bring it up. All right. This is I saw, and I just want your reaction.
I'm hitting media assets.
All right, here we go. This is very exciting.
I'm about to bring it up. I've not seen this yet. I'm about to put it on the screen.
It's football adjacent, so it's relevant. It kind of hits on. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. It's a Taylor Lewan.
It is Taylor Lewan. A lot of y'all in my mentions about the intro that dropped this morning. Like it or not, Pop Punk / Punk was on life support before that MGK album came out. We should be thanking MGK, not hating. Wow. This is a take. I actually listened to that podcast. And
That's the worst tweet I've ever seen in my life.
I don't listen to MGK.
Because you're an adult human being.
I don't particularly like the brand of pop punk that he has popularized, I guess, and produces.
Yeah.
There's a case to be made that was pop punk popular before MGK decided to change genres?
Mm-hmm. It was. That's probably why he did it.
Who was?
Well, what is pop? Like, there's no MTV anymore. It's just, I mean, we go to Wonder Years shows. They're packed. You know, you go to there's bands that are traveling the world that are successful. The freaking I'm not putting When We Were Young Fest on the shoulders of Machine Gun Kelly. You know what I mean? Like this is ridiculous. Machine Gun Kelly sucks.
I mean, also like
overall, he's doing pop now.
So I agree with you completely. Like his actual point might be correct in that like it wasn't as popular as it was 20 years ago. But I'm also
popular now that wouldn't have been popular if Machine Gun Kelly didn't come out with his dog shit album in COVID.
Because I'm also of the opinion of being like, I don't think pop punk should be that popular, probably. You know,
right.
like pop punk is best consumed when it is in the House of Blues and not at the Tweeter Center.
Right. I saw Green Day at Fenway, and it was kind of like, well, I'm sitting. This sucks,
Yeah, even
But
like Blink at Fenway, I kind
right.
of felt the same
But
way.
there's
Yeah.
like you have your Blink and your Green Days, and like they're
Right.
in a separate plane. They were on MTV in the '90s.
Yeah.
They are forever going to be uh, selling out arenas and stadiums and
Right.
whatnot. But your mid-range, your I don't know, like is there a band touring right now that would have folded and gone bankrupt if Machine Gun Kelly hadn't
No.
learned to play three chords and just made friends with Travis Barker, who is a
Right.
great producer. Like the sad part is the production on that album is excellent. Like
Yeah.
it checks a lot of boxes sonically, but the person leading it sucks and can't be a frontman in a pop punk band because he's like cosplaying. He's like it's
Yeah,
like he
like I
watched
wouldn't I wouldn't even necessarily call what he's doing pop punk, because as pretentious as this is about a very non-pretentious musical style, like I do almost feel you kind of have to like earn that. And like bands like American Hi-Fi or like SR-71 or Lit, I never really considered pop punk bands because they were like rock bands that were playing music in a pop punk style. And I would like
I'd
MGK is
give
a
them
rapper
I'd give
who's
them more of a case because they probably were in bands in high school. Like Machine Gun
right.
Kelly was not playing guitar in a garage in high
Yeah,
school. He was rapping. And then one day he was like, I can make money doing this.
right.
And he just did it. When he was, let's see, he was born, so he was 30 years old. And he was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do a pop punk album and
It
put
is pretty
on a
funny
little
to like get
voice.
into pop punk at 30 years old.
And now he's a pop. He does straight pop. He dropped the punk. He has a pop anthem. He wanted to be the song of the summer.
Really?
So
Is it
all I
the
want,
song of the summer?
I don't think it quite made it, but I will say this: when I saw that tweet, when sometimes football players snap. This week it was baseball player Doug Minkiewicz getting really mad at
Oh
Jeff
yeah.
Passan, saying like this guy never played. Football players will occasionally be like, "You don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about." I finally understood what that felt like to see a football player talk about pop punk. It's like you just please don't
Right.
hold Machine Gun Kelly up as a savior of anything. I would
Yeah.
say maybe of like rappers turned actors. He was in that Bird movie with what's her name? Speed. Sandra Bullock. Remember that COVID
Mm.
movie? That was a
Mm-hmm.
popular one because there was like
Yep.
3 pieces of
Bird
art.
Box?
That sounds about right. But he was in that. He was in. He was actually good in. He played Tommy Lee in the
Oh right.
what's it called? The
Motley
the
Crue?
something.
The
Yeah,
Dirt?
but the dirt. Yeah, he was pretty good in that. So like I actually give him credit as an actor. He's fine. I'm not sure what else he's been in, but yeah, that tweet was the worst tweet I've ever seen in my life.
Well, at least NFL players are talking about pop punk, you know? At least they're aware of it. I don't know how many there are, but yeah.
Devin McCourty wearing the Newfound Glory shirt, if I'm not mistaken.
True. Yep.
So
That was
big pop
big.
punk guy.
Yep. Big pop punk
Um,
guy.
yeah, I don't know,
Um
but that was the worst tweet I've ever seen. I'm glad we got to talk about it. I feel like you aren't having the right reaction. I'll be honest. I didn't.
I'm
Machine
sorry.
Gun Kelly as
No,
the
I
savior of
agree. Like
pop punk.
I don't support I don't like what he's doing, but like him like I can't necessarily disagree with the fact that like pop punk is not where it was 20 years ago, you know?
But there's no like who could be a Newfound Glory right now? Like what would the success look like? They'd be on what? TikTok?
Yeah. I mean like hardcore is bigger than ever. Like Turnstile is huge.
They're not really playing hardcore right now.
They aren't, but like they were a hardcore band at one point who's now rising in popularity, and like I don't know, Speed is like
I would say
playing festivals. Like are pop punk bands playing festivals? No.
I would say this before COVID,
They're playing their own festivals.
My Chemical Romance announced the Garden Show in
That
like
is true.
2020, and it was like trying to buy a Super Bowl ticket. That was before Mr. Machine Gun Kelly came and saved
But I
pop
like
punk.
so I hate to like play I hate to be Felger. I'll be your Felger in this
Okay.
situation. That's playing off nostalgia. And so is we were
Okay. I
young.
mean, Paramore was going strong. I'd say they were holding up the genre, though they kind of stopped playing pop punk as well. They turned into like 80s electro synth pop. So maybe
Like
not.
there was the boon of pop punk in like the mid 2000s. And then what all time low, I was never into that
The
band, but they
Story
were
So
pretty
Far
popular.
was
Story
another
So Far,
one.
like state champs were they pretty, but like it's all been relatively like underground ever since
Hmm.
Blank, right? Like, and ever since like My Chemical Romance, has there been a huge pop punk band
I
since
guess what I'm
I guess
saying is,
Paramore?
what's not underground these days? Isn't everything underground?
I
There's no
guess.
radio.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
there's no alternative radio, not in Boston anyway.
right.
There's no MTV. There's no like Fuse. There's no MTV2. Like
Yeah.
MTV2 in the 2000s is what you're talking about, and like that's gone. It's like so. I don't. And even then, like when you were in college and you were like, oh, I like name a band you listened to in '06. Most normal people didn't know what you were talking
No, that
about.
is 100% true. Yeah.
They like
They
they
might know
liked
now.
they
Yeah.
liked Gavin DeGraw. You know.
Yeah. It's true.
Anyways, I've been thinking about that tweet since last night. I'm glad we talked about it. And at least like oh, is pop punk dead? It's like, well, somehow people showed up at the Offspring show,
That is
and
true.
we'll see Spanish love songs on a college soccer field in September. So it's booming. After seeing them in a movie theater in Somerville 2 years ago, and not seeing them since. Have you seen them since?
I don't think I have. No.
They played
Yeah.
like Hampton, I think, and I just didn't want to do that.
Yeah, no. They've been playing some weird shows around here ever since then. It's I hate when a band I like goes on a supporting tour when they're not the headliner because it's just like the Wonder Years does that a lot. I'm like I'm not going to see what's that what's the band that they supported recently? Oh, Day to Remember. I'm not paying to see a Day to Remember just to see
Yeah.
a 35-minute Wonder Years set.
It's tough because you feel like a weirdo enjoying the opening band often. It's like
Right.
you're really into it and no one else is. But
Right.
I am seeing Taking Back Sunday open for Coheed
Oh,
August 30th. So that'll be a good show.
where's that?
That's at MGM.
Okay.
Coheed's like, they're obvious. I don't know if you were a Coheed head back in the early 2000s, but
I
their
like
first
the
three albums,
first two albums.
okay. You didn't like when they came out with the Welcome Home? A little too much for you?
I liked one song off that album, but I didn't get into the rest of it.
Okay. That it was kind of one of those things like perfect album, perfect album. Okay, this one I'll give it a 70% hit rate. Then
Right.
the next one was like 50%. And then there was like a huge stretch where I was like not listening to them. They're
Yeah.
past maybe 5, 6 years. Really good. I highly recommend it, including their album that came out this year or last year. I have it on compact disc if you want to borrow it. You can burn a copy.
So it appears as though their last show that wasn't a festival, they played two songs off In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth and one off Second Stage Turbine Blade. That might be
You
tough
know
for me
what
to sit
though?
through the whole thing.
They split. I believe they were on tour with like Mastodon or like it's like they'll
Uh,
sometimes tour metal and they'll open and they'll tweak their like last year they opened for Incubus. So they
hmm.
probably had a little bit more of their like prog rock stuff. They'll do like straight up, like I said, like opening for Mastodon. I think with the Taking Back Sunday crowd, they'll be a little bit more pop punky.
Yeah, they might go. They more might lean more towards nostalgia, as I was
They
saying
will play
before.
Favor House Atlantic, that's for sure.
It's a good song. What
I
is
love
this Vaxis album? Is that their latest album?
so the names I'm going to tell you not that familiar with. I know I would call it,
Vaxis Act 3
yeah.
came out March 2025. So they were like pretty heavily touring on that. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they won't go so heavy into Vaxis Act 3, the father of make believe.
Yeah, so last time I saw them, they were playing two albums. One was Vaxis 2, which was also a good album, but I didn't know the name of it. And the other was No World for Tomorrow, which was their '07 album, which fun fact Taylor Hawkins played drums on because they
Oh,
didn't have a drummer at the time, so he was just the studio drummer.
interesting.
Uh that had some good songs. It was a good tour, even though it wasn't like, the hits, so that'll be a good
Yeah,
show.
there we go.
There you go. Pop punk. Thank you, Machine Gun Kelly. Because if not for you, I would not be going to see Coheed and Taking Back Sunday in August, late August, 2025.
They
They
would
would
have
have
just
just they would have
ceased to
gone
tour.
bankrupt. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
would have
that's
just
true.
taken their guitars and be like, "What? I don't even know what to do with this thing anymore." So, uh, there's my takes on pop punk.
What is the Coheed song that I like off that third album? I wonder if they played that one. It is.
Welcome Home is hard
I think
not
it's
to
The
like.
Suffering. Do they play
It's a
The
great song.
Suffering?
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, they play that pretty often. All right. Haven't played it since 2024, but
They played it a lot for a long time. So,
yeah.
um,
They when they played When We Were Young 2024. Oh, that was all in Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth and Good Apollo.
there's yours. Probably a 20th anniversary or something.
I would still want something off that, like Everything Evil or Devil in Jersey City or something.
Right. I mean, those first two albums are the best.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, from like the 2010, 12, 13, 15, and 18 albums, couldn't tell you much about them. But the last couple, they've done a good job with. So shout out to them.
All right. Well, that's good to know. We will talk. We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out off air, but we should record a podcast after the Patriots' first preseason game.
Yeah, maybe super late night on the phone. I can get you. How about that? I'm
Maybe.
actually yeah.
We'll
So
see.
it'll be lo-fi.
Well, we'll see. Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. I'll talk to you then. We'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.